The spires of Lincoln Cathedral pierced the September sky, their golden stone glowing against the rolling Lincolnshire clouds. In the city's medieval heart, where cobbled streets wound past half-timber-bird shops, the past felt alive, its stories etched in every arch and alley. Freya Marwood, a 32-year-old historian specializing in medieval England, had arrived in Lincoln a month ago, hired by the cathedral's archive to digitize its records. With her sharp mind and a notebook always at hand, Freya was no stranger to untangling history's knots, but the tale of little St. Hugh had hooked her like no other. It began with a faded manuscript she'd found in the archive, its vellum pages brittle but legible. Dated 1255, it recounted the disappearance of an 8-year-old boy, Hugh, who vanished one August evening while playing near the city's wells. Days later, his body was found in a well, broken and lifeless. The manuscript, written by a monk, spun a grim tale. A Jewish man, accused without evidence, was tortured into a confession, implicating others in a fabricated ritual murder. The accused were executed, their deaths fueling a wave of persecution that culminated in the expulsion of England's Jews in 1290. Freya's stomach churned as she read, recognizing the story's venom, a piece of anti-Semitic propaganda later immortalized by Chaucer that had justified unspeakable cruelty. Freya couldn't let it go. The manuscript mentioned a shrine in the cathedral, erected in 1791 after bones believed to be Hugh's were unearthed. She'd visited it her first week, a small marble slab tucked in a quiet chapel, its inscription worn but solemn, "To Hugh, taken too soon." Tourists passed it without a glance, but Freya felt a pull, a need to understand who Hugh was and why his death had been weaponized. She began digging deeper, spending late nights in the archive, her desk littered with coffee cups and photocopies of charters, court records, and chronicles. Her guide through Lincoln's history was Idris Coleman, a cathedral verger with a warm laugh and a memory for obscure facts. At 60, Idris had spent decades tending the cathedral's secrets, from its gargoyles to its ghosts. "You're chasing Hugh, aren't you?" he said one evening, finding Freya hunched over a 13th century tax roll. "Careful. That story's got thorns." Freya smiled, rubbing her tired eyes. "It's not just a story. It's a lie that ruined lives. I want to know what really happened." Idris nodded, his face thoughtful. "The truth's buried deep, but it's there. Look to the wells." That's where it started. Freya took his advice, exploring Lincoln's ancient wells, many now capped or hidden beneath modern pavements. The manuscript described the well where Hugh was found, near the Jury, a district where Lincoln's Jewish community had thrived before 1290. She found a likely candidate, a stone-ringed well in a courtyard off steep hill, its iron grate rusted but intact. Standing there, Freya imagined Hugh, a boy with tousled hair and a stick for a sword, chasing friends through the summer dusk. What had drawn him to the well? An accident, a game gone wrong, or something darker? Her research uncovered fragments of truth. Lincoln in 1255 was a city of tension, its Christian and Jewish communities coexisting uneasily. The Jewish population, vital to the city's economy through money lending, was scapegoated during crises. Hugh's death, likely a tragic accident, became a spark. A man named Elias, a Jewish merchant, was arrested. Why? The records didn't say. Under torture, he confessed to a crime he couldn't have committed, naming others in a desperate bid for mercy. The confession, lurid with tales of ritual murder, was a fabrication, but it fed the city's fears. Elias and 18 others were executed on Canwick Hill, their deaths a prelude to the expulsion that would follow decades later. Freya's heart ached for them all. Hugh, a child lost to chance. Elias, a man crushed by lies. The families torn apart. She found a letter in the archive, written by a Jewish scholar in 1260, lamenting the false tales that had stained Lincoln's soul. It mentioned a witness, a washerwoman who'd seen Hugh playing near the well, chasing a stray dog, but her testimony was ignored. Freya clung to this detail, a thread of truth in a tapestry of deceit. As she worked, strange things began to happen. In the archive, pages turned on their own, as if stirred by an unseen hand. At the shrine, a candle flared when no one was near. One night, walking past the well, Freya heard a child's laugh, sharp and fleeting, followed by a low sob. She told Idris, expecting him to laugh, but he only nodded. "The cathedral remembers," he said. "Hugh's still here, and maybe the others, too. They want the truth told." Driven by this, Freya proposed a project to the cathedral, a new exhibit on Hugh's story, one that would debunk the propaganda and honor all the victims. She spent weeks crafting it, using the manuscript, the washerwoman's account, and records of the 1290 expulsion. The exhibit would include a plaque by the shrine, acknowledging the injustice and calling for remembrance, not division. On the exhibit's opening day, Freya stood in the chapel, the shrine glowing under soft lights. Visitors read the panels, their faces somber as they learned of Hugh's likely accident, Elias's innocence, and the lie that had fueled a pogrom. Idris, at her side, squeezed her arm. "You've done right by them," he said. As the crowd dispersed, Freya lingered by the shrine. The air felt lighter, the chapel warmer. She whispered, "Rest now," not knowing if Hugh or Elias heard, but hoping they did. Outside, Lincoln's streets bustled, unaware of the truth reclaimed within the cathedral's walls. The bones beneath the shrine, whoever they belonged to, were silent at last, their story no longer a weapon but a bridge to understanding. Many thanks for treading this tale's dark path. If its chill gripped you, like, follow, subscribe, and comment below.